Hey guys, this is Christina. So the title of this particular episode is Are You Scatterbrained? And the reason I chose that is because recently I came across a woman named Barbara Sher, and she has a pretty interesting outlook on self-improvement and just, the individual, I guess, psyche for each person. One of the things that she has written about is she's got a book that's called Refuse to Choose. And basically what that is about is scanners. And a scanner, according to her, or what she likes to call them, is somebody who has a hard time not only making up their mind, staying on track, really being scatterbrained, which is why I chose that for this particular episode. Her main focus is on all the stuff that we want to do as people. A lot of people say they don't have enough time, or they don't have enough energy, or there's just too many things that they want to do, or, a thought that has crossed their mind of something they want to do is just too outlandish to even do. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. I myself am considered a scanner. I would encourage you to look in more to her information. I guess her main thing is everyone has unique gifts and talents. What you love is what you are gifted at. To be completely happy, to live completely fulfilled life, you have to do what you love. So that's kind of what my focus is on right now. As far as scanners go, one of the topics, or how she introduced is what do I do when I want to do everything? Which is really the case for me. Like, there are so many things that I want to do, that I want to learn, that I don't feel like I have enough time for. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know that is an everyday thing in a majority of people's lives, is not having enough time. So what she's actually kind of implemented is a scanner daybook. And pretty much what you do is you just carry around like a notebook or a piece of paper that's simply dedicated to that. Sure, if you need to put other notes in there, whatever. But it's basically thoughts that you have, throughout your day, weeks, months, of things you want to do, things you're interested in about, things, just anything. And you pretty much write it down. So for example, myself, there's a lot of things that I want to do. I would love to go to Paris someday. I would love to make a lot of things. I would like to write a book, even if nobody buys it. Just something that I've always wanted to do. I want to learn the guitar. In other instruments, I'm in the process of doing that as well. So basically what you do is you have this little notebook and thoughts that cross your mind, because obviously, as an adult, I know I cannot remember half the stuff I try to. So it's like a grocery list for your ideas. Write them down. If you're walking in the grocery store, you think of something, oh, hey, I'd like to cook this, or hey, I want to learn this, just random crap, write it down. And then you just kind of prioritize as you need to. And the words "I can't" are something that you need to get out of your head. You may not be able to right now, but eventually you can. So for example, like if in my book, I've got, there's a couple different art projects that I want to make. There's a couple things I'd like to build or learn how to do. You pretty much write them down and then you prioritize them. So for example, like today, I don't have the ability to sit here and learn Spanish. Tomorrow I might, but today I don't. So I'm going to kind of go through my list and see what kind of thing could I do today that I would actually be able to finish. I do a lot of art projects. I'm very crafty, and I've been told by several people that I have a lot of unfinished stuff, which is true. I do. I have a lot of unfinished projects. I'm not going to say it's because I didn't want to finish them or I didn't have the time. Most of it's because I moved. I was pretty consistent with moving every year for at least 10 years. So, I would start something, I'd have it out, and then I would have to pack it up and move it. I would forget where I was in that, and then I'd find it later and have no idea where I was supposed to go with it. So, this has kind of actually alleviated that. As far as learning the guitar goes, something I wanted to do. So I bought a guitar and I'm learning. I'm actually doing pretty well. Obviously it's going to be a long-term thing, but it's something that I can pick up when I have time, when I have a few minutes, and I can just practice a little bit. There's a lot of things that in your mind are going to try to prevent you from doing what you think you want to do. It's always a question of, do I have enough money? Do I have enough time? If money's a problem, try to go around that. I guess I'm very resourceful. I've been called the crap drawer a few times. So if I don't have everything I need, especially when cooking, if I don't have everything I need, I improvise to try to get as close to it as I can. I don't always have a lot of extra money to spend outside of bills and, things around the house. So I have to improvise. A lot of times I'll go to the dollar store, I'll dig through some old crap to see what I can find, to see if it's something that I can use. That also implements recycling. There's no reason to have all this stuff and not be used and then throw it away. You might as well try to use it for something else. So, being able to do multiple things, learning what you want, actually get that fulfillment out of your life, because we are not made. I'd like to say that we are not made, we are not created. Humans are not created to live, breathe, work, and pay taxes. That's not what we were for. Because if you think about it, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, a lot of times work wasn't paid work. It was work for free. It was work that had to be done because it had to be done, not because it was going to benefit you financially, but because if you didn't, you were not going to survive. So yes, I definitely understand, working and having a job to pay bills is definitely important in life. It's a must it's just the way it is. But don't make it your number one priority. Obviously you want to make it a high priority, but you don't want to make it your number one. You want to make your happiness your number one, because ultimately if you're happy, your family's going to be happy. They're going to see that. If you're happy, people around you are going to see that and they're going to envy that. They're going to be like, hey, why is this person so happy? And, I've got a lot of issues. Not only, everybody has head issues, somebody's hurt you down the line, stuff's happened in your life that hurts. But I've also got a lot of health issues too. And being able to, I guess, step outside of that box and do things that make me make me happy, despite limitations that are imposed on us, it does help with better living. My bills, you got to worry about the lights going off. You want to make sure those are paid. Definitely. Make sure your lights are paid. Make sure your house is warm. Make sure your kids are fed, clothed. But also just keep in mind about your mental health. Because, happiness, you can't buy happiness. I know they say money buys happiness. And yeah, money buys a lot of stuff that can make you happy. But ultimately, that money, that stuff doesn't fill that void of happiness. Doing things that you feel complete you, that you've found somewhere in yourself where your comfort inside, that is where you need to be. And, pursuing the things that you want to learn, that you want to do, those are going to ultimately do that. Those are things that you can cross off your bucket list. So if you don't have any sort of regret, there's a lot of things that I've done in my past that I'm not proud of. I don't regret them. I really do try not to have regrets, because regrets means you shouldn't have done it. And in my case, I don't feel that way. I think you should have done it. Do it. Because if you don't, how are you going to know that it's a regret? How are you going to learn from that and say, hey, what I did here was probably not a good idea, but I'm still here and I've learned from it, as opposed to just not taking that risk at all. Obviously you don't want to do a whole bunch of drugs and all that kind of stuff, but just get out there, be yourself, find what makes you happy, whatever that may be. And it doesn't have to be one thing. And that's what I love about Barbara Sher. You don't have to pick one thing. You don't. There are so many things in life that you can pick. You don't have to choose anything, just one thing. You can choose as many as you want. The goal, for me anyway, is to be able to not only identify those things that I want from my life and for myself and my happiness, but also how to prioritize them in my everyday life. Because I do feel like I'm running out of time, not only with my kids, and my health and all that good stuff, but, I don't want to be at the white pearly gates and they ask you, hey, do you regret anything in life? And my answer be, yeah, I didn't do any of the stuff that I wanted to do. Think about that. Do you want that answer to be what comes out of your mouth when the time comes? So anyway, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, and I'm sure I will talk to you soon.